You can use the wildcards too when you're copying files, or when you want to like filter some of the files and get only a couple of them. So I'm going to give an example here how we are doing. So for example, if I just want to list text files in this directory, you can do like this: ls star.txt. See, only my tree came. Or if you just want to do tsv, you can do like this. Or the star is the wildcard, so you can do like this too. So I just want to list the files with if the extension starts with T. See, star.t star. See, only these two came: data.tsv and my tree.txt, because T is here. So sometimes if you want to copy the files, you can use this option. So I just want to copy these files, for example, to another folder. So I'm going to create a folder here, make directory X, and I will copy star.t star under X. So you can do like this. And when you lsx, see these two files here, this two, this and that, copy it under to that directory. So another thing here you can do is archiving the files. We usually archive and zip the files when we want to get a, my cat is coming. Oops. So when you archive the file, it means you just create a package for that. It means, for example, I just want to use this X folder together with maybe this functions R, and I will pack them and zip them. So sometimes you want to back up the files. You don't want to copy all of them. Maybe you have 100 files in a folder. So you just don't want to copy one by one. You just pack them and then copy the zipped file. So how you can do is you can use this tar cvf. So this is just to pack. If you want to zip, when you're doing this, you can put Z here. And the name of the package, I'm going to do with Z. For example, the package will be pack.tar.gzip. And I'm going to put X folder and functions after that. This too. You can add more if you want. You can put my tree.txt or other folders, or you can just do it X. That's fine. So when you do this, see, you see which folders and files came into the package. It's here. So when I show this, ls-l, so this is zipped and it keeps only this much space, 648K. So, but how was it before? So when you don't, only just data.tsv file was a couple megabytes, almost 2 megabytes, 1.9 or something. See, 1.9 megabytes. So when you zip files, you can actually reduce the space usage. So this is something you need to do. So when you want to reduce the space usage, you gzip files. Just creating a tar file is not enough. Let's do that just to show you that it is not going to. I'm just going to give this pack.tar and I will remove the Z option. When I do this, it's the same file, same, everything is the same, but I'm just going to use that star symbol here. It's going to show me two files. See, one of them is this big and the other one is like 1/3 of it. So you can do like the 1.9 megabytes, 648 kilobytes. So it's perfect. So see, I gave the naming. And if you don't put this gzip, it is going to be still gzip. But to remind you that this is gzip, you need to put this into the naming. So for example, I want to move this to somewhere. If I use the move function, it's just going to remove it from here and then move somewhere else. Or you can still copy with CP. but I'm going to move it to my project space, UMW biocore class. See, when I'm still here, I will just go there. It's just an example. You can do many other files in your space. So this is how you get the backup. See, pec.tar.gzip. So to extract that file, I'm going to open another folder. I'm going to give a name like pec, for example, and I will move my pec.tar.gzip file into that pec folder. So we are recording all the things here, so you can follow these things later if you want to do the same thing yourself. See, this file moved there after I use this move function again, and I'm going to go back there inside of that folder that I created and print working directory just to show where I am now. So to extract this file, you can do this tar xvfz. So it's always like this. So when you're packing them up, you're using cvfz, opening X, it's extraction. So, and then you're gonna just put the name of the file. When you do this, see the files are open there. You still have this file and open version. See, lsx, those files, everything is moved here. So you don't need to extract the file if you just want to get the backups. Just get this. And one more thing I want to show you that you have to do. So before you move these kind of files or before you copy the files, there is one thing you need to learn. It's called MD5 sum. This is a command to understand the integrity of the file. So the original file was there. Let me copy this file, for example, back to my home. This was my home. I copied there. So when I copied this file, before copying, it was here. Okay, I have this file here, and one copy is in my home. See, these are two separate files in two different locations. But when you copy the file, sometimes on the way, it can drop 1 byte because of a mistake, because of an error on the network. This can happen. To be able to make sure that this file copied intact without any problems in the file, there is a command called MD5 sum. Because if it loses 1 byte, your file is corrupted. You cannot extract your files anymore again. So you have to be sure the original file you have and the copied version have exactly the same MD5 sum characters. So when I run this, see, it produced this kind of characters, 5E something. It's a long string. It has letters and numbers. So when you copy the files, the location I copied was here, my home pack. Okay, so, and this. So this was in home. If you don't believe me, I can do like this too, just to show it was in my home. AK97W. See, this and this has to be exactly the same after you transfer the files. That's why in the future, when you move the files from cluster to NCBI, for example, this is something they're going to ask you. For each file you submit, they're going to ask this kind of MD5 sum. You have to learn how to actually create these numbers and then put them into a file. So how you can do this, for example, I can put this, my MD5 sum like this. And then you're going to send this file to the NCBI, for example. There can be multiple files here. So let me show, for example, X. You can do like MD5 sum star. So all the files in this directory, see? Star means all the files. And you can put this into my sums. See, you can send the files after you zip, and the original files inside has these characters. So when you copy these files, they should still have the same characters. When you change 1 byte in this file, this will change. So for example, if I enter this file, change one character. I remove one character, and I do the same thing. My tree. See, I just change one character. So this is totally different than this. And this is not intact anymore. So if this was gzipped file and then something changed in that file, you cannot extract anymore. This is something you need to know. And you learned how to check the disk space, and you can, in the last 4 minutes, I can show you how to download files using wget command from a URL. So for example, this is a website belong to us, but it could be, it belong to anybody. So if I go to this directory, there are a lot of files here, okay? For example, I like this GTF file and I want to download this file into the cluster, okay? So how you can do, you can just right click and copy a link address here. And when you copy the link address of this file and then paste here, you can use this wget function in the cluster like this, the whole URL, and then see, you see GTF came here, and you can look at it inside using more to see what kind of annotations you have in this file. So you can download any file in the, if you know the URL of the file, you can download like this. You can download this file to like copy link address and download. So your next week, I'll start with like a FTP FileZilla. So before you come next week, please install FileZilla into your computer, and I'm going to show you how you can transfer files from your laptop to HPCC system using your username and password. So make sure you know your username and password before next week, because you're going to do the same thing like you did with SSH. Don't forget them, write them somewhere. And download this FileZilla. But there are other software too. If you don't like FileZilla, you can download other. So if you just search FTP client for Windows or FTP client for Mac, you can find a couple of options. More or less, they are using the same system. So you need to know host name that you want to connect to, your username and password. Why this is important? Because when you download files from, for example, GeneWiz or any other company, they usually send you the files using FTP servers. So in those FTP servers, what they send you is just this. They give you one of the host name that they have in their company, and they open an account for you in the FTP server. They give you a username and password. So usually they are using this SSH port. It's 22 standard. Unless it's different, you're using this default port. But if it is different, they tell you this information in their email and the location of the file. So when you connect, when you use this, maybe I can show you, but I want you to do this yourself too. So it's 7 now, it's done. But so when you open this, you're just basically going to use your cluster account and then connect. And after it's connected, you can see your home directory, for example, all the things in my home. So for example, Bootcamp, see the files I created today, some of them. If you want to copy them to your desktop, here, for example, I can go to my users helper and my desktop. So I can drag and drop this file like from here to there. This is my remote machine. This is my local machine. When I do this, it's going to see copying this file now there. So you can see the progress here. You can do multiple files. Usually FASTQ files will take a lot of time when you're doing this, sometimes hours. So you need to keep your laptop open, charged, and you can transfer files from any location to your computer, from computer to the cluster. So this is how we do these kind of things. Unless they give you a web page like web URL, you can do this wget to download those files to the cluster. See, the data is there now, and I can show you that I'm in the cluster now, and I'm going to exit from here, and I'll show you that it's copied into my desktop. See, data.tsv is there, and if I do -L, see, this is just copied now. Okay, perfect. So I think we are done today. Next week, we will continue with cluster nodes, submitting jobs, and all the details about it. And we will be available on Slack if you need anything from us. If you couldn't follow anything today, I will put all the records into Google Drive and put these links here. You can do all the things here in your own time by following our videos and the things here. If you're still stuck somewhere, please let us know on Slack. We will help you immediately. So don't be shy when you're asking questions. And when you're learning, you cannot learn everything in one day. You need to spend a lot of time to learn this stuff. Thank you for attending to our class. Let me know if you have any questions.